Welcome to In Between the Lines, where nothing is out of bounds and adversity is an opportunity to adjust and overcome. I'm your host, Savon Williams. Got my brother to the right of me, Joe Ham. Joe, how you feeling?
Outstanding. No worries at all. It's getting into the nuts and bolts of football for me right now, Vaughn. Absolutely the nuts and bolts. And shout out to my brother Vaughn, man. You representing. Normally after a loss in a weekend, a guy don't represent their school. They kind of hide in the background. But I understand you, and I know you well enough that you're going to say that y'all are still defending champs in the Ohio State Buckeyes, and that you think y'all going to still hold up the trophy. So we shall see. We
Absolutely.
shall see, my brother. Way to represent.
Absolutely, brother. And I'm over here testing something right now. But yeah, some people, them fair weather fans, they go running and hiding until the championship, till the trophy come out. But that's why they not invited to the celebration. Me myself, I'm a part of the trophy giving and trophy raising ceremony. So we not feeling too bad about that Indiana loss. I talked to a couple.
No?
No, 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 not at all. I talked to a
Oh my
couple of my
God.
guys that's a part of Buckeye Nation, and they said, at least we beat Michigan. Indiana, yeah, we can make some adjustments. We not too upset about that loss. Even Indiana played great. They played the best ball they could play, and we didn't do enough. We didn't do enough. So we shake their hands and we look forward to seeing them again. We look forward for the opportunity to play Georgia and whomever else gets in our way, because it's going to be a long road ahead for them.
I can't fathom this all star tradition rich program in Ohio State being on the drought or being any drought that they're in right now in terms of winning the Big Ten. I mean, my goodness, the way you talk about domination. When is the last time y'all won the measly old Big Ten?
Well, you know, it happens. The bigger or better question is, when the last time we won a national championship?
Well, that
We
was
don't
last
got to
year, y'all
look
national
far.
champs.
We don't have to look far, and that's the main thing. And
Well,
everybody
you
playing for a
switch up on the
natty.
main thing. You
No,
you
no, no,
you
no.
switch
The,
up
the
on the main
main
thing.
thing is always the championship.
1 week you'll say the main thing is to beat Michigan. The
No, that
next
is
week
the
you
main
say,
thing. That's the main thing. That's the main
oh,
thing.
wow, so beating Michigan is over the national championship.
No, that was our main thing, because we always got to beat Michigan before we get to the natty. We've been there, we
No, y'all
done that.
don't. No, y'all don't.
No,
No, y'all
that
don't.
that, that is
Y'all
our
last year,
concern. We not.
last year
There's
y'all
no
didn't go
need to
through
talk
Michigan.
about last year when this year is still here. Michigan
You
that
saying
can't.
that?
Michigan can't play for a national championship.
Okay, so let me ask you this question before. I need to be very clear with you. Are you saying that if y'all do not hold up the trophy this year and be national champions, back-to-back national champions, and since y'all beat Michigan, y'all are not the Big Ten champs either. But since y'all beat Michigan this year, is a successful season?
No, no, no. I wouldn't say that.
Oh,
I
okay,
wouldn't say that. I
okay,
wouldn't say that.
okay. But
For
but
for
if y'all
me,
are Big Ten, but if y'all are Big Ten champs and national champions, and y'all did not beat Michigan, that's not a successful
no, that's
season.
an issue. It's an issue.
Oh
It's an
my.
issue.
Okay.
But again, the
Okay.
standards are different at the Ohio State University. Everybody else is just mediocre. They just happy to get to a bowl game or get to a conference championship. We got bigger fish to fry.
I got you. I
We
got
got
you.
bigger fish to fry. But
It's just
before,
you can't tell Caleb Downs that. You can't tell these Tate that. You can't tell Julian saying that. Some of these guys that's been in the program that's not won a Big Ten championship. You can't tell those guys they don't mean anything, that y'all got bigger fish to fry,
well,
because you don't want to leave. You don't want to leave Ohio State without winning a Big Ten championship.
but right now, if we
Woo!
worried about the Big Ten championship, then we not focused on the bigger fish to fry, which is the national championship.
Oh no,
Those
that's for
that'll
the
have
stands. I'm
another
not talking about
chance,
the players.
those that'll have another chance. I'm talking about the players too. Those that have a chance to win a natty shouldn't be thinking about yesterday or this past weekend.
That's right.
It's nothing we
That's
can do
right.
now. So
That's right.
again, we handle business for Michigan. I don't even know why we bringing them up when we talking about conference champions or even champion during this championship week. We shouldn't even be bringing up Michigan because they didn't play.
Well, you want Well, you want to go for you want to go for the trifecta. That's when you're really balling. When you can get
Yeah.
the trifecta. Let me give you an example of the trifecta. The trifecta is when Alabama wins the SEC championship, beat Auburn, and hold up the national championship. The trifecta is what Georgia's going for this season. Won the SEC, beat their rival Georgia Tech, and win the national championship. So if you don't get to the trifecta, yeah, you are successful, but you're not checking all boxes. That's all I'm saying. There are different levels to this where you sweep it. That's all I'm saying.
I think that's always our goal, but national champions, trifecta, that's fine. That's fine, and that's usually how we take it one week at a time. But for 98% of all programs, they don't have a chance in hell to get the trifecta. So we just gonna
Well,
focus on
that's
getting
a
it
good
now.
point. That's a good point, Vaughn. That's a very, very good point because again, this 12-team playoffs, it ain't about a few teams, in my opinion, have a chance. So you ain't saying anything that like when you say that.
No, I
I
mean,
mean,
like, how many teams is running the take? Because you said beating the rival. That's not the
not, I didn't
trifecta.
say run the table. I'm
No,
not
no,
saying
that's what I'm
run it.
saying. Trifecta for me is running the table. Beating the
No,
right
no, no,
Alabama beating up on Auburn ain't saying much.
no. But I said the trifecta. If they beat up on Auburn and win the SEC and win the national championship, that's the trifecta. Only three. Like Georgia is able to do this year. Like Indiana is going to be. I don't know who Indiana's rival is, but
Uh,
yes, that's what I'm talking about.
but I mean, like we discussed
So it's select few.
previously,
You're right.
Tech
Select few.
Georgia beat up on
Georgia.
Tech the last
Well,
eight or
it's not.
nine
It's not
years, so
about beating up on
it's
Tech.
not it's not that much of a difference.
Well, when the last has been done, Vaughn.
The last time
That's what I'm
what
saying.
when a
A
team done
trifecta.
ran that's why I said you
Not ran the
replacing.
table. Not
I'm talking
undefeated.
about running the table because if you lose a game and you beat your rival, you win the conference championship, you win the national championship. It's cool. The trifecta though is an undefeated season. Probably the last team to do it was who?
Try Michigan.
LSU.
Michigan.
Oh, Michigan.
Michigan did it.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Well,
2 years ago, Michigan did it.
yeah. Then that went that
LSU
whatever.
did it. Yeah. So
LSU did it in 2019.
that's
LSU ain't
that's
been
that's
relevant
historic.
since.
That's historic. That's when you complete a whole season of well, even with the undefeated season, I would still say you rival championship game, you win that, and the national championship. Because even when Georgia don't win all the way through, if even with Georgia one loss, Georgia, that's a great season. Champions in the conference, beat your rival, and national champions. Yes, and you wouldn't have any buts or an issue like you got last year with your championship. You had an issue because it wasn't a trifecta.
But I had an issue. The normal fan wouldn't have an issue because they team ain't never winning the national championship. We used to win it.
Well,
We
we're not for you, Vaughn, to be talking about normal fans. We're not talking about normal fans. We're talking to the fans of the big boys.
well,
That's what
even
we
the
say.
fans that's the big boys, like we talked about, it's so many teams that think they comparable to
No,
Ohio
no,
State.
no, 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 no. You and I are talking. There's not so many teams. I'm talking about the Georgia Bulldogs. I'm talking about the Alabama Crimson Tide. Those teams. So it's a select
I
few. I'm
see.
not talking about everybody.
And even with the Georgia Bulldogs, prior
Okay.
to what 2020, you got to go a long way back to Herschel Walker since they won a national championship. So if we
Okay.
not talking recently, the Georgia Bulldogs is not even comparable to the Ohio State University. But we got a show to go to. We got a show to get to. And
I know we
this
do.
is another time. That's another discussion for another time. But one thing I want to discuss is going to Cleveland, Ohio. We had Shedeur balling. We talked about how it be Shedeur versus Cam Ward. Cam Ward didn't throw many passing yards, but he got the win, 31-29. Shedeur finished with 364 yards, 3 touchdowns, 4 touchdowns total, 1 interception. Joe, what do you got to say about that performance?
I'm thinking as a quarterback, Vaughn, and I've been going back and forth. I have my daughter Caden, my son Skylar. Caden plays flag football. Skylar plays, I guess regular football, so to speak. And I asked them, who would you rather be after the performance from Cam Ward and the performance from Shedeur Sanders? Caden said Shedeur Sanders because of the numbers. Skylar kind of said Shedeur Sanders, but I'm tossed in between because between those two that are great friends, really good friends, and I heard Cam Ward talk about it after in his post game presser that he admired their relationship and he takes pride in it, and that he's happy for him. But who has the bragging rights, Vaughn? In 10 years, 20 years, when they are at a cookout or a family picnic or just a get together or a vacation where they go and take their wives and kids out of the country, who has the bragging rights about their matchup in 2025? I would say who feels better now, too, Vaughn? Who feels better on this Monday? On this Monday, the day after the game, I'm sure that Shedeur Sanders is very, very pleased with his performance. He's frustrated about the 2-point conversion that Kevin Stefanski took him out and ran a botch play, obviously. But he feels good about his performance. But if I'm Cam Ward, I don't hate the fact that I came out there with a victory against my friendly rival, competitive off-season partner. So I look at it and say, Shedeur, when we talk about Shedeur, he's trending in the right way. And when you talk about Cam Ward, he's happy to get the win.
Like you said, I think with the rivalry,
Who would you rather be on Monday, as far as in terms of Tennessee Titans getting the win, Cam Ward, and Shedeur Sanders, his team losing, but he has better or had better numbers than Cam Ward?
that's tough because I'm a winner. Period. We
Yeah,
gotta win.
yes.
I want to win. However, with all of the adversity that Shedeur gonna been through this year, I mean that's as close of a win you gonna get, and the fact that we gonna
Well, hold
get
on. He's already had a win already this
yeah,
season.
but I'm just saying. Of course, you want to beat Cam Ward, but to perform the way that he performed, that was a huge win. But
Yes.
more of it, and then the fact that they could have still won, and we gonna get to it if Kevin Stefanski or whomever play calling or whatever that was, just to get into the game. Okay, and you've been in the
Let me say
NFL.
this before you get into the game, Vaughn. Let me say this. And I have to get this off of my chest, brother. Kevin Stefanski and that offensive staff, from what I'm seeing in the last three starts from Shedeur Sanders, they totally botched that quarterback room. I don't know what they saw, or I don't know what they saw or were seeing the entire offseason to even think, even have an inkling that Dylan Gabriel is a better quarterback than Shedeur Sanders. I mean, you can already see the playbook is opening up. You can already see that Shedeur is making some throws that Dylan Gabriel can't even think about making. And I understand one getting drafted in the third round and one getting drafted in the fifth round. But to not give Shedeur that much, I mean, more starts, and I know he's been named the starter for the rest of the season, 4 more games. But this team could have won, or could have been in a better situation than just winning 3 games because of Shedeur Sanders. Do you see the sideline? Do you hear the belief in Jerry Jeudy? Do you hear Myles Garrett and those guys talk about what Shedeur brings to the table? And I know they're constantly being asked about Shedeur, so they're going to respond and answer the question. But that's a guy that's ignited some more eyes on the product. He's got a little fuse for a team that's not going to quit now because everybody wants to see what Shedeur is going to do. Not that he's an all-world talent, but he's so polarizing that it's going to be guys, networks, NBC, ABC, ESPN, Fox, CBS tuning in to see what Shedeur is going to be. He's going to lead First Take. He's going to lead Club Shay Shay and all those guys talking about Shedeur, not necessarily Cleveland, what Shedeur is doing. And he should have had more reps. So shout out to him because he is, I wouldn't say he's balling, Vaughn, but he's been more than what we expect just starting later on in the season. And it shows me that he did his homework while he was on the bench. It showed me that now while he had a whole week of preparation and reps, that he's been getting better. Since start 1 to start 3, which happened yesterday, he has been getting better, my brother.
Well, I'm gonna go here. Let's give me the solo. Shedeur been balling. 2 out of 3 games he been balling. Cleveland offense been struggling all season, and for some reason when he finally start, now the offense starting to open up. Now we seeing deep passes down the field. I still don't think Cleveland offense is any good, but they a lot better than what they gonna been with Joe Flacco at quarterback. They're a lot better than what they've been. Did they have try Kenny Pickett? I think they tried picking him,
No, no, he got traded. He
or
got
they
traded
traded
before.
him immediately. They a lot better than they was when they had Dylan Gabriel at quarterback. And like I said, when I showed this stat right here, Shedeur been balling. The first rookie to pass for 300 plus yards this season. That means Dart. That means who else was rookies? We obviously got
Cam
Cam
Ward,
Ward. You got what's the dude
Tyler Shuck from New Orleans.
from New Orleans that I like it's almost blasphemous. And then you say things like, and this is not just a knock at you, but you say, because I told you earlier, I said, I'm talking about early on in the season, I said, listen, this is something up here. Shedeur is the best quarterback in the draft. We don't got to wait until he throw 10, 15 touchdowns to 6 interceptions to look and see. We got eyes. You make it seem like our eyes been
No.
deceiving
We don't
us.
have NFL eyes.
Dude,
What are you talking about?
when has Cleveland had eyes for a quarterback? In the
Dude,
last 30
you know how many,
years. In the last 30 years, when did Cleveland get it
Vaughn,
right at quarterback?
do you know how many people miss on quarterbacks talking about from college? What do you mean eyes? We didn't have eyes on Shedeur in the NFL before you were saying he's the best quarterback.
No, we seen from what he did in college. We seen how he carried a program in Colorado. It was a lot of pressure. Nobody had more pressure on him than Shedeur and Travis Hunter. Travis Hunter had the ability to play freely on both ends, so that was a blessing. I don't know if any other program was gonna let him play on both sides when he was in college. But nobody had more pressure. Then you got to think about it. Shedeur was the most sacked player in college the last 2 years. And he said, when you get sacked that many times, you learn to get rid of the ball. You learn to make the adjustments. Coach Prime said, Shedeur started every game from high school to college. He started every game. So he got way more experience than your regular rookie. And now we see in week 3 against a pretty good Tennessee Titans defense. We're not gonna say it was a horrible defense. He's throwing the ball, not only throwing it. Again, I'm gonna pull the stat up again. 300 plus yards, 4 touchdowns. We seen what Cam Ward did, and it wasn't anything pretty. But again, Cleveland defense.
Cleveland has the best.
Cleveland defense is nasty.
Cleveland has a better team than the Tennessee Titans.
I can't tell you. I can't. I don't believe that. I don't
What?
believe that. If Cleveland got a better team, then they would have won.
Cleveland played a team that only won one game.
Okay, and now they got 2.
And
They just
Cleveland has a much better defense.
They
And
have
both
a
of them
much-
suck on offense.
Yeah, but Tennessee still found a way to put up 31 points. I agree with Cleveland having a much better defense. But Cleveland is a franchise or organization that is in shambles. They don't know. You give these guys much more credit. That's the difference between me and you. You give those guys, and again, you gonna been in the league, so you gonna been in the practice. You give those guys a lot of respect. You gotta earn the respect around here for me. Cleveland has done nothing to say, okay, we should think they know what they're doing. And we can look at the draft and say that, or we can look back the last 15 years and say, okay, or maybe the last 5 years. They've had Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield looking pretty good in Tampa Bay now. They've had obviously Johnny Manziel. They had Joe Flacco. We had Jameis Winston. You can name it. The list go on quarterbacks. Tyrod Taylor. You can name it. They've had plenty of quarterbacks. They ain't developed none of them. Everybody gonna stunk once they get to Cleveland. And now Shedeur is bringing some life back. And the only reason people are even tuned in for the Browns is for Shedeur. And let's get to the game. Down 14. Shedeur make a run. He looked like Johnny Manziel back there. Breaking a tackle. Run a touchdown. Tell me why they did not kick a field goal to be down 7 points. They go for 2. What was that about?
Because analytics shows you now that the coaches have been doing it for the last couple of years, definitely this year a couple of times, that they're going to go for 2. And if they don't get it, they'll go for the 2 again on the next time. But if they do get it, they're thinking now when we score again that we are going to score to win the game and not tie the game. That's the gamble there. So the gamble is that we're going to get a 2 point conversion. Either we're going to get it now and only be down 6, or we're going to get it. I mean, we're going to miss it and still have to go for 2 later on to tie it up. That's the thinking behind that. I don't agree with it, but that's the thinking. It's almost like you're thinking reverse. If they're down 14, if they had scored and tied it up, kicked the extra point, they'd have been down 7. And if they're thinking, being a bad team like they are, only winning 3 games, that when we tie it up, we're going to go for 2 anyway. So that's their thing, that we're going to go to win this ball game and not have it to end up in a tie. I don't necessarily agree with it, but I agree with. So they're thinking, what's the difference? To have pressure on them being down 6 or up 6 and when the score wins it, or being up 8 the way we have to go for 2. Regardless, Kevin Stefanski had in his mind that he was going to go for the win.
That's idiotic, for one.
To go for the win?
You down 14, you score a point,
right?
You score a touchdown, you kick the field goal, and you down 7. It's
right.
That's the easy thing to do.
Vaughn, what I'm saying to you, Vaughn, they didn't lose anything because regardless, they were going to go for 2.
No,
that's what I'm saying to you.
I understand that, but you saying instead of going for the tie, as if it was in overtime or something like I mean, as if the game was in overtime. No,
I'm talking regular.
Even with that, they went for it, they missed it. Okay, with you knowing that you missed your first 2-point conversion, you down 8. Shedeur gets the ball, drives him down the field, scores. I'm talking about he doing his thing. From there, why on earth the 2-point conversion, they do Wildcat? I'm not even mad about the Wildcat. It is what it is. Shedeur's on fire. He's, again, put up some of the best numbers that Cleveland got seen from a rookie ever at this point. And you take him out the game, okay, you running the Wildcat. So you know you're running the ball. They run a Wildcat reverse, I guess. He fakes the reverse or forgets to reverse it, and then they throw it on the other side of the field. That was the best play that you could have called, or you could have at least just allowed Shedeur to make another play. Even if you was going to run the ball, like, what? That doesn't make sense. That's the problem. It's starting to look real blatant, unless they are purposely tanking, and tanking for who? It ain't nobody in the draft that's coming out for them to be tanking for. So
no,
I don't know. It's nothing but collusion. I'm on that bandwagon. It's nothing but collusion going on. Like in the comments if y'all think it's collusion going on with Shedeur Sanders, because I'm sick and tired of folks acting like, oh no, they can't be doing this in the NFL, or no, why would Cleveland want to lose? Tell me, why would Cleveland want to win? Because they wasn't playing like they wanted to win at the end of the game.
What do you mean?
I don't think those decisions are to. You only got 2 wins, so I understand what you're saying, but let me ask you.
They have 3 wins.
They got 3 wins. Oh,
yes.
Dylan Gabriel won 1.
Yes. Oh, Flacco won 1.
Flacco won 1, and then Shedeur won 1. Okay, they got 3 wins. Tennessee got 2 now. Well, let me ask you this. The 2-point conversion, the first one that they didn't get, did they try to run the ball or did they try and pass it?
They fumbled.
Who fumbled?
I think the snap was fumbled.
So they
didn't get that off. So it's more about execution. And I don't know if that was a fake reverse on the last one, fake reverse by Jenkins, and they throw back to the guy that reversed, but it was poor execution. And then Kevin Stefanski, he admitted that, but his coaching decisions are what's in question right now. He blew that game, in my opinion. And because a lot of people run Wildcat, Vaughn, and they stick the quarterback all the way to the left. The quarterback actually calls to play in the huddle, and then when they break the huddle is when he go to the left or the right as a wide receiver. Mm-hmm. Because now they don't know. They have to bring their personnel in because they don't know where he's going to line up when they break the huddle, because there's a quarterback in the huddle. But can you imagine being on the defense in the NFL and the quarterback is on the bench? Immediately, the antenna goes up, and immediately they're saying, well, this is not going to be an accurate pass. This is not going to be a guy that knows how to make quick decisions or audible or knee-jerk reactions, they're going to panic back there. So you kind of helped the defense out when you had Shedeur completely on the sideline. I didn't understand that. So when you look at it in the whole entire situation, I don't think that there's collusion going on. And that's one thing you have to do, brother. You have to be able to change your mind. You have to be able to say that, I thought something and something was going on earlier, but now I don't feel that way. Because if it was still a collusion going on from Cleveland's standpoint, why don't go back to Dylan Gabriel?
You can't go back to Gillen.
Why?
You
If it's a collusion, why?
to Dylan Gabriel because everybody got eyes, and we clearly can see when Dylan Gabriel had his 3 games or 4 games in, Cleveland offense wasn't moving like they moving with Shedeur in. So if you go back to Dylan Gabriel, right now when Shedeur just had 300 plus yards and 4 touchdowns, is Dylan Gabriel, like you said, was not the first round draft pick. He was a 3rd round, so he ain't earned nothing for you to go back to him. But you didn't give Shedeur, the fair shot, and this is just fact.
See, that's what I'm talking about, Vaughn.
Shedeur a fair shot.
Vaughn, that's what I'm talking about. If it's a collusion, then you don't give anybody a fair shot. So if it's a collusion, I'm not talking about this previous game. That's what I'm saying. Why are you sticking with a collusion? Because why not go to Dylan Gabriel right after Shedeur's first start? I'm not talking
because
about.
He won.
I'm not talking about.
Dylan Gabriel record is what 1-3 as a starting quarterback.
So why not the second start?
What, after the second start?
No, after he started, and then he had a start last week, when he won. So why not start Dylan Gabriel the next week?
Because still after those 2 games, Shedeur was the better looking. Everybody got eyes.
Okay, but I understand that. So why is it not still a collusion?
If Dylan Gabriel was Cam Ward, where they drafted him number 1, or even Jackson Dart, where they drafted him in the 1st round, it would be more explainable if they say, okay, we going back with this guy. If Joe Burrow coming in, then it's okay, we going back with Joe Burrow.
Yes,
this is Dylan Gabriel. Again, you can't.
I understand what you're saying.
You can't.
But it's not a collusion then. You can't still say it's a collusion.
You can still, it's clearly still
How?
a collusion. From just how they've been treating them.
No, hold on, Vaughn. How they treated him up until now.
Even
so you can't say still
up until now.
There's a collusion now?
We saying the last game, we still can't understand what they've been doing. We still don't understand.
Vaughn, that's the philosophy. Before Shedeur Sanders started a game, Kevin Stefanski has been running a Wildcat in the red zone. He ran a Wildcat with Joe Flacco and Dylan Gabriel.
That's because he didn't have a quality quarterback. That's why.
I understand that, Vaughn. But again, it's not collusion because he brought Shedeur off the field in 2-point conversion. Are you saying that's why you're saying it's a collusion still?
Yeah, that's exactly why.
But they've been doing that the whole season.
To run that play that they ran.
Well, Shedeur wasn't on the field, Vaughn.
That's my point. So
how's that collusion? How's that collusion on Shedeur?
Why would you take him off of the field?
Same thing they did with Dylan Gabriel, and same thing they did with Flacco.
Shedeur. Dylan Gabriel ain't.
So no, Vaughn, you be talking about a play call.
And again, we know that play call was horrible.
So how's that collusion?
The issue is.
I'm trying to feel you with collusion still going on. You're missing me with this.
Trying to make his record bad. Because if you trying to win, you leave Shedeur out there and let him make a play. He drove you down the field down 14. If you were Shedeur, because we heard his response, but if you were Shedeur, how would you be feeling right now? Would you feel like
every other quarterback that's ever played, why you took me off the field? Unless that play works, I'm going to be questioning why you took me off the field. Every quarterback is going to do that.
All right.
Every quarterback.
Rightfully so.
You don't seem to understand that. I mean, when they got down there, Dylan Gabriel drove him down the field. Flacco drove him down the field. And for some reason, Stefanski thinks that's a better red zone play to run the Wildcat. And that's why it's such a malpractice in coaching. Shedeur inside the red zone just ran a 12-yard touchdown run.
That's my point. That's my point.
It was bad coaching. It was bad coaching, Vaughn. It was not a collusion.
But it's been bad coaching all season. It was bad. Okay. It's been bad coaching. We've been
so who was they colluding? So
So whether
who
you
was they
say
colluding against?
malpractice, whether you say collusion, it's collusion starting from the draft when he dropped down to 5. Again, you can't name 5. You can't name 3 rookie quarterbacks
It
this
was a weak
season that look
draft.
better.
It was
Huh?
a weak draft. It was a weak
All
draft.
I'm saying is you can't name 3 rookie quarterbacks right now that look better than Shedeur in 3 games. You name it.
Jackson Dart.
All right, that's one.
That's it. And then it was Cam Ward and Tyler Shutt. It was only 3.
But how many quarterbacks got drafted in front of him? It was more than 3.
I don't even know that they haven't played.
No, of course they haven't played, but it was more than 3. I can tell you that. That's for sure.
It was a weak draft. Who else? I can't remember who else got drafted.
Mark my words. I'll say it again. Shedeur Sanders is the best quarterback out of the 2025 draft. Y'all can act like everybody else is important or act like everybody else done something. Act like Cam Ward had a decent season. But that's not necessarily the case at all. It's not the case. And what we understand at this time is there's going to be some shakeups going on. Looks like we might have some technical difficulties here with Joe. 1 second. Let's see here. Give me 1 second.
Look at this.
1 second. And I believe Joe is certainly trying to hop right back on here with us. Yeah, brother, get right back on the link. I'm about to get right back on the link in 1 minute. We gonna keep going. Let's do it. Let's do it. Having a quick TV break here, I would say. 437. Close the door. All set. And I believe Joe will be back on with us. Here we go.
No. Can't do it. What's this?
It's on It's about to start. Hold on. Should be click on the same link. You should be able to get on now. I'm on Zoom now. Okay. Like we've been discussing, in regards to Shedeur, in regards to the draft, I want you to comment below if you feel like it's been collusion going on with Shedeur this entire season. Of course, my brother Joe does not seem to think that it's been any collusion, but I want you to comment if you feel as though it has been.
Be careful how you phrase the question, Vaughn, because the whole season. No, I know there was something going on. Collusion has got to involve some people, a lot of people. When you say collusion, from who? So when are you going to move on? Is my point. When
The
are you going to move
owner,
on from?
when they stop taking them out when it count, because when they
Man, Vaughn,
at
take
first
him
they
out.
went
Oh
at
my
first they
God.
wouldn't put them in. At first they wouldn't put them in. We had to sit through a horrible season, and I'm saying we, and I'm not even a Cleveland fan, but this is normal for Cleveland. You've been making these fans buy tickets and put out that horrible offensive performance all season long. Now you got the best thing that came through Cleveland since LeBron left, and you still are trying to limit him, or you still taking him out in the clutch. This is almost asinine to the point where if who Wimby, you're not gonna take. Well, Wimby is a different character. Let's say Zion, if healthy, you're not gonna take him out at the end of the game when he gonna brought you back. You down 20. He been balling. He brings you back, and then you take him out the last 2 minutes of the game. They'll say this coach is a fool. They'll say this coach is absolutely ridiculous. And that's what we should be feeling from Cleveland right
You're
now.
freezing up a little bit, Vaughn. You freezing. Your screen freezing up a little bit. Um, um, Vaughn, again, man. Again, I love you to death, but you hold on too much. When you have a stance, you carry this stance to Kuwait and back, and you're not getting off of it. I mean, why can't you understand? What are you not understanding about this is a red zone philosophy with Stefanski? I mean, I
Does
can feel
Cleveland
you. I can
offense
feel.
has Cleveland
I can.
offense been good with this philosophy that he has?
No,
So maybe you should get off of that, Stefanski. That
no. I'm telling you, what I'm saying to you, Vaughn, is that it's not a collusion. It would be a collusion to me if we had never seen a Wildcat this season in 13 games, and we've never seen a Wildcat before.
mm-hmm.
That would be collusion. That all of a sudden, because Shedeur Sanders is in the game, we're gonna run Wildcat. To me, that's collusion on this guy. But if you've been running Wildcat since game one, and now it's game 13, where's the collusion coming in then? That's all my point is. For you say collusion about what they did to him and not putting him in early in the season, I understand. Okay. If you say collusion how you dropped in the fifth round, okay. But now, just because of the Wildcat, he took him out. That's collusion. He's been doing that. That's where I disagree with you at.
Yeah, but you don't do that when your quarterback done thrown for over 350 yards in a game. You trying to win or you trying to prove your point?
You trying to stick with your guns and your philosophy to the heart. It's not against nothing against Shedeur Sanders. It's bad. It's bad coaching.
That's what I'm saying. Your philosophy got
Yeah,
y'all
but
two wins in week 11? Is it week 11 or week 13?
yes, Vaughn, agree. I totally. Vaughn, I totally agree with you by coaching malpractice, and he's bad at coaching, but that does not equal collusion.
Well, we gonna agree to disagree. Who, Nisha? What you think? What's going on, Nisha? You think is it collusion? Is it malpractice? Tell me, cause we obviously don't know, and they obviously don't know. What the hell is going on in Cleveland? I'm gonna wait to while Nisha go ahead and give her response what she think as we TikTok live. The one good thing that we can say is Shedeur been named starter for the rest of the season.
Yes.
Whoop-de-doo. See, the fact that we got to be celebrating this when he should have been the starter is where, I guess we certainly is going to praise God because he going to continue to show the doubters and the naysayers, and he going to keep putting that wrist up. And he going to keep shining on them. But, like I said, if that's news, it's clear as day. Who else they gonna put as their starter?
What do you mean? Next year?
No, I mean we not even talking about next year. We talking about the rest of this season.
It's clear as day. Vaughn, there's no discussion. It's clear as day. Yes. And when you look back at it, that's my stance. Kevin Stefanski has blown this. He has blown this as a coach. He has messed up the whole quarterback room. Totally. He's too good of a coach for me to sit here and say that I don't want to win games because of Shedeur Sanders. And again, if you're saying it's a collusion, why name Shedeur Sanders the starter the rest of the season? Because what Shedeur Sanders is going to do, he's going to continue to get better. And by the end of the season, it would not surprise me that if Shedeur Sanders is named the starter in the offseason. Because that's what he's going to do the remaining of the season. He's going to only get better with more reps, 4 games into the season. Now, I could jump back on your bandwagon of collusion if they happen to see what Shedeur is doing at the end of the season in 4 games, improving each and every game, and they still don't name him the starter if they go out and draft another quarterback. But that's what I'm saying. I'm willing to put all that behind. I'm moving forward.
They do have Deshaun Watson still on the roster, and my wish is that Cleveland go ahead and continue stinking and trade Shedeur. Where they trade him, I don't even care. Trade Shedeur. They can continue stinking. And then we going to see. But regardless, some folks are anointed. Some folks, it don't matter. Shedeur going to be against all odds. See, I got a couple people, even up the dog pound, shout out KT, that say he not drinking the Kool-Aid. And Joe, you is one of the essence that don't be drinking the Kool-Aid, but you are on
About what?
For one, Cleveland ain't been good, or what I would consider good, in a very long time. So everybody that you naming, Kevin Stefanski, the general manager, the owner, you giving them way more credit than I would ever give them credit. Because they ain't been good.
When have I given them credit?
You just said that Stefanski is you just said he was a good coach. You just said that.
He was a good coach. Yeah, he was a good coach.
Stefanski is the coach.
Vaughn, I don't care how you put it, man. If you're 2-time coach of the year, you're a good coach, or you wasn't a good coach. I don't care how you put that.
All right, well, he might.
I didn't say he is. I didn't say he is.
Tomlin in. You can be 2-time coach of the year, and your team didn't have no expectations. Like, again, it just depends on, like we was talking about earlier when we talking about college.
I said he wasn't a good coach.
Some fans and some teams' expectations is so low by just doing the bare minimum, you get an award for it.
Is Mike Tomlin still a good coach?
Yeah, Mike Tomlin a way better coach than Kevin Stefanski.
I'm not comparing him to Kevin Stefanski. I'm just asking you a question.
But my question is, how many coaches of the year does Mike Tomlin have?
I don't know if he has any.
All right, so that's my point. So don't tell me nothing about coach of the year. That don't mean nothing. It's a lot of people it's a lot of great actors that ain't never won an Oscar. Those awards don't.
So Oscars don't mean anything?
No.
So because a lot of people. What?
No. Anybody will tell you that. You're not based on your awards. You based on your production. Denzel Washington will tell you that. Denzel Washington will tell you that. I'm going to send you a clip. And matter of fact, when I clip it, I'm going to play it. I'm going to clip Denzel's clip on this segment right here. So we going to make sure our clipper get this part.
If you cut Denzel Washington on his wrist, he's gonna bleed. So if one person says that Oscars don't mean nothing, is that the law of the land?
No, but you already know what you going up against while you try and put the Oscars on this so big level.
So is not. What do you mean the big level? It's the all be all.
No, it's not the all be all. It's the all be all for those.
It's the trophy of acting.
For some, Denzel chooses to disagree. Just like with the Grammys. You got people like Jay-Z that choose to disagree and say the Grammys ain't really what you trying to make it as.
Let me ask you a question.
That don't mean he may not want to win a Grammy, but when he win a Grammy, he say, hey.
What about MVPs in that? What about MVPs? What about MVPs?
No, we're not gonna.
What about MVPs
like
in football?
MVP.
Does that mean anything in national football?
We're not gonna act like MVPs, not MVPs. But what you saying is Coach of the Year, and you saying Coach of the Year for.
But it's an award. It's an award.
Bill Belichick win Coach of the Year for that same performance.
What same performance?
When he won Coach of the Year, what Cleveland do? What did Cleveland do when he won Coach of the Year?
They made it. They went to the playoffs.
Okay. How many other teams went to the playoffs?
Yeah, but what they were expected to do.
That's my point. Because
so if you exceed expectations, that means you did a hell of a job coaching.
No, I guess if your expectations is low to the bottom of the ground and you just meet mediocrity, okay, give him Coach of the Year.
Not yours. No, it's not. Hey, listen, Vaughn. Nobody votes for the award by themselves. For themselves. Nobody do that. Somebody else thought that of him. And again, he didn't get a bunch of his family members to say, hey, go vote for me.
These are the same cats that voted what's his name for Buffalo. The quarterback is MVP when we all know Lamar Jackson should.
No, we don't all know.
How? When Lamar Jackson had a better season last year than he had the year before, he won MVP.
That's okay, but somebody else had a better. Somebody had a season as well too. And stats don't always say who's the MVP. Boy, you talking about you and your friends, people who say we all know.
Statistics show that they get tired of giving the same guy MVP over and over. This is not just in football. This is in basketball.
That's not true.
That's not true. Other than Michael Jordan. Other than Michael Jordan. Other than Michael Jordan.
Other than who?
Other than MJ.
Vaughn,
statistics have shown.
Vaughn, you need to stop doing this. You just talking, man.
So Derrick Rose should have won MVP the year he won over LeBron James?
Vaughn, you should stop doing this, Vaughn, because there's more research. You're just guessing.
That's not guessing.
Well, so let me ask you, just in the same sport then, let me say this to you. In the same sport, they get fatigued and they don't want to do that. And I know you're going to have some type of comeback, but it's factual that why is Aaron Rodgers full-time MVP then?
Dude, again, that's another one.
Why is
what color is Aaron Rodgers?
Why is Peyton Manning full-time?
What color is Aaron Rodgers?
He's white.
Oh, what color is Lamar Jackson?
He's black.
That's my point. Enough said.
So that's not enough. That's not enough said because that's not enough said because why does Lamar Jackson have 2 MVPs then?
Because he was that much better than everybody else.
So you can't go black now because
because my point was last year.
Tell me your point.
My point was last year Lamar Jackson's stats was better than the year prior, and he won MVP with those stats. So how does he not win?
It's compared to other people too.
And last year, other people.
Because everybody else had it down. Yeah, other people's Josh Allen. The other people is the people who finished second. Who finished second? You see. I'm not going to say everything.
Josh Allen should have finished second again.
I thought it was Cole. MVPs.
So they could have did that the same way that they did with Adrian Peterson that year. Did he win co-MVP with Peyton Manning?
No, he didn't win. No, the only one that won co-MVP was Steve McNair and Peyton Manning.
Wait, so Adrian Peterson didn't win MVP the year he came back from the ACL and ran for 2,000 yards?
It wasn't Cole.
But he won MVP. Or did he win Offensive Player of the
Yes,
Year?
I think he might have won MVP, but I'm not sure.
Because, I mean,
And what I'm saying is, see, Vaughn, it doesn't carry weight if you talking about black and white, what color Aaron Rodgers is. Lamar Jackson has multiple MVPs.
no, but that's because Lamar Jackson, the same guy that was in the Shedeur, they wanted him playing receiver. They didn't want Lamar Jackson to even
Oh
get a
my
shot.
God!
Did,
One one
did they
GM
or
said
did they
that.
not want Lamar
One
Jackson to get a
GM, one
shot?
GM said that.
The ones
God
when he
bless
was
him.
coming out, then they said, "Hey, he might need to be
Oh
playing
boy.
receiver. He might be the same way they tried
No,
that they did Terrell Pryor eventually."
Terrell Pryor is say well, he's not an NFL quarterback. He showed you that. So again, Vaughn,
This
you
ain't the
take things
first
and run
time
with
this
it.
happened.
One GM, Bill Polian, Hall of Famer, who took a chance on me and signed me to Indianapolis, said that he would move Lamar Jackson to quarterback. Ozzie Newsome and the brass of Baltimore Ravens didn't have that a question. They moved back in the first round to draft Lamar Jackson.
Well, that was the
So
only
because one
franchise.
person say that, that
That was
doesn't
the
mean
one
everybody.
franchise. There was a lot of people that passed up on Lamar. Even to the point where the Atlanta Falcons said they wasn't willing to pay him after he got won MVPs because they had the opportunity to pay Lamar and or at least try, and they said no. So again, we ain't gonna make it a black and white thing because you try and act like
You
the
have
Kaepernick.
that's what you
You try and
do.
act like the Kaepernick situation didn't occur. They put it in our face so
But see,
many times.
you're going off the legend now. You're going off the legend. So you're going
No.
off the legend now because you brought it up. We brought MVPs up, and when I mentioned that you said they got fatigued and they didn't want to give it to him, and when I said that Aaron Rodgers is one for, Peyton Manning is one for, then you went to say what color they are because they're white. They won for,
Yeah, they got a lot to
or they
do with it.
balled out.
They got a lot. I pay Manning earned his. I'm not saying that Aaron Rodgers didn't, but again, the same way where you say, well, Steve Nash got two. All right,
Okay.
okay. We all know Kobe should have won at least one of the years Steve Nash won his. We know that.
Well, that's okay. Let me ask you this. Oh, let me hold on. Hold on. Charles Barkley, a black man, stole one for Michael Jordan in '93.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you're not gonna.
So
And
what do you
again,
say? So that happens. So what do you
it's
say about
rare.
Steve Nash and Cook?
Yeah,
That
it's rare.
happens.
How
Carl
many
Malone, Carl
MVPs should
Malone,
LeBron
Carl
have?
Malone,
How
Carl
many
Malone, a
MVPs should
black
LeBron
man,
have?
Carl Malone, a black man, stole the 1997 MVP from Michael Jordan too.
I don't think you want to be talking about Karl Malone. Them folks gonna bash you.
No, I'm talking about you saying highest rate. You always want to bring race involved. Who stole it from LeBron?
But
Who won it?
I told you, Derrick Rose.
He's a black man.
No, but that's my point. When I said originally, I said they don't want to continue giving the same person MVP. They try to spread it around.
Yeah, but he
That
has
was my
four.
point.
LeBron has four.
That's because LeBron is LeBron. LeBron should probably have seven. That's my point. Just because he got four don't mean he shouldn't have had seven. And that don't mean that they don't try to spread it around. They just ain't had enough white players that's good enough to be an MVP. If they did, they would give it to them if it was anything close. So you got to be far better than them.
Hawk.
You got to be far better. Far better. But we're going to go to the next topic because we'll be on this one forever. As we said, Shedeur Sanders is named the starter for the rest of the season. So we are certainly happy about that.
Absolutely.
But let's get into college football playoff, Joe. And as I pull up the brackets here, it was a lot of speculation. There was a lot of people that felt upset, felt some type of way about what was going on. How do you feel about who made it, who didn't? And as you look into the playoffs, what are some games that you're looking forward to?
Well, Vaughn, here's the deal. I'm looking and I'm trying to scout and see if I think that any non-blue bloods are gonna make any noise. When I'm talking about noise, make it to the semifinal, the championship game. And the non-blue bloods that's alive right now would be Indiana, Oregon, I don't know when the last time Texas A&M was in it. I'm not calling them a blue blood. Ole Miss, Texas Tech. Will they be able to win? Definitely JMU not going to do it. Tulane is not going to do it. So will they have a chance to make some noise, or is it going to be the same old, same old? Is it going to be Alabama? Is it going to be Georgia, or is it going to be Ohio State? Can somebody come out of nowhere? Because if you look in the last 20 years in this bracket, there's been only 3 teams that won a national championship: UGA, Ohio State, and Alabama. So as I look at it, Vaughn, you and I talked the other day about moving it, the teams, and there's no way JMU should be in, and there's no way that Tulane should be in. And I agree. I absolutely agree with you now because it's watered down. When I saw the point spread of James Madison and Oregon, it's 20 points. For a playoff game, it might end up that way. It might end up being 20-point blowout. I can understand that. But projection going into it, and we've seen Tulane and Ole Miss earlier this season, and Ole Miss beat Tulane 45-10. Do we really want to see that again? So if you want to reward those guys, move it to 16, but you're still going to get some blowouts. But you can't have Texas. You can't have Vanderbilt. You can't have BYU going from 11 to 12 outside of the playoffs just to get James Madison and Tulane in. Now, what I would say, the committee did their job. They went to the letter of the law with the criterias as far as conference champs, the highest ranked conference champs gets in. That's what they did. They follow rules, so they didn't break the rules. But I don't like it. I don't want to see Oregon against JMU, and I don't want to see Tulane against Ole Miss. So with that being said, why did Alabama get the benefit of the doubt over BYU in terms of moving spots?
Well,
I don't like that either. And I know you're going to go to, not you, but people are going to say Alabama played a tougher schedule. They had more top 15, top 20 wins. Okay, I get it. But they didn't move. They got stomped by a Georgia team in their conference championship game and did not move from 9. BYU got stumped in their championship game and they moved from number 11. I don't quite get it. Because if you're going to move, all right, if you're going to move BYU from 11 to 12, 11 to 13, don't you think that Texas is a better team than BYU as well? Why drop them ahead of Texas? Why drop them ahead of Vanderbilt, who Vanderbilt is 10-2? Vanderbilt is coming from the SEC. Texas is coming from the SEC. So what's the difference?
yeah. Well, I would say this. BYU got beat by 30. What was it? Did they get beat 34-7?
It's up there, close.
34-7. So you lose your voice when you get beat 34-7. You have nothing that you can say. No way. If BYU got in over Notre Dame, even James Madison at this point, you just got your last showing, you got beat down. At least, if you saying Alabama got beat down by Georgia probably can do that. They did the same thing to Texas, beat them down. They fought close to Tech, but the one loss that Georgia does have was against Alabama, and that's what kept Bama where they at. The fact that Bama went to Georgia and beat Georgia, a team that has only one loss, Bama had to be in it, and you can't you can't make it to where Bama, the issue is, or Bama get kicked out for making the SEC championship when Texas A&M, Ole Miss, Oklahoma didn't even play in the SEC championship. Because at that point, nobody wanted to play.
Thank you. So what's going on with BYU?
Again,
I mean,
BYU, who did they beat?
Who did they lose to?
It ain't just who they lost to. Who did they beat?
Number 14.
Who did they beat, though? Who is the top win that you can say, well, but they beat this team, so they should get in? Who did they beat?
I don't think they have any signature wins.
Okay, and that's why they looking from the outside in. They can be.
So why they
head?
Why are they ahead of Texas?
It don't matter. They on the outside too.
It doesn't. No, but no, the committee is doing all these records. I'm talking about now. It doesn't matter because you're just going off of just the top of your head. I'm talking about the flaw in the system, the flaw in the committee.
Well,
That's what I'm talking about. It doesn't matter
the
how they
system,
how they rank everybody else.
I believe that the system will get it together. They
What do you
have
mean get it together? They haven't gotten together yet.
no. That's what I'm saying. They'll have it. Try to create more. They'll have more opportunities to get it together, of course. But as of right now, we got these teams in, and I'm gonna put it back on the board for our viewers to see. Now, again, you don't seem to think that Notre Dame they shouldn't have got in.
I think the committee got it right as far as the teams they put in. I do not like the fact that um, Miami. Why is Miami behind Alabama?
See, you better than me because as long as you in. What Miami lucky to be in. Miami wouldn't even be in if it wasn't for the pitiful ACC and Duke winning the ACC. If Virginia won, Miami wouldn't be in. So
Well, see, I don't like what you're coming from now because I'll say this to you: if the ACC was doing the right thing with it, as far as the tiebreakers, Miami should have been playing Virginia
in the
because they're the highest
ACC,
ranked. Yes, they're the highest ranked
well, like I
ACC
said, they can
team.
start doing a coin flip for all that I care.
So that's again, Miami is not a bad team.
No, I never said Miami was a bad team. I just
So
said
so, so
I
why?
said Miami was more dependent. They're depending upon somebody else losing. And I said this last week. I said Duke is gonna win the ACC. Wait, watch with them being pathetic. They're gonna win the ACC. You said no. I think Virginia and Coach so and so is gonna have them boys ready. They gonna go
Right.
in there and do this and that, and they went there and laid the egg. So that's like Virginia saying, "Well,
Well,
why don't
Vegas
we
thought
have?"
that too.
Huh?
Well, Vegas thought Virginia was going to win as well.
Again, when you give a
So
chance, when you give a team a chance that don't ha- deserve to be in there, if you got 5 losses, you shouldn't be in your conference championship. I don't care. I don't care. And they need to change the NFL rule while we're talking about it. If you are average NFC South, we got to stop the division winning divisions because you got teams that's super strong that end up not making the playoffs, and then you got teams that end up being what is 17 games now, 9-8, and make the playoffs, and then got a home game in the playoffs. They got to stop
yeah,
that, man. We want the
yeah, I'm cool with
best
that.
teams available, and just like in the college
Yeah, I'm cool
football
with that.
playoffs. We want the best teams available. There's no reason Notre Dame shouldn't be in here. Texas, I fought for Texas. I believe that it should be one, either James Madison or Tulane, not two. But they stuck to their rules, like you mentioned. They said it had to be the top 5 conference champions, which was Indiana, Georgia, Texas Tech, James Madison, and Tulane, because Duke won no top 5 champion. They was a
Right.
champion. They get to raise the champion. Shout out to the Blue Devils, basketball school. But if they judge him by that, they got it right. Now, being that that's been said, the aftermath of what occurred, pretty much in regards to Notre Dame being the first one to kick it off and say, "Hey, we not doing that. We not even about to allow these guys, or we don't want to. We not going. We not even gonna go bowling. We is this the first time this has ever happened where a team has said pretty much, oh no, we not playing in the bowl game.
It doesn't happen often. Normally, it's just players saying that we're not playing. Normally, it's a tragedy happens or something happening in the program, and they decide not to play. But this normally does not happen. No.
But the fact that Notre Dame, Kansas State, Iowa State, Florida State, University of Kansas, Central Florida, Temple, Rutgers, Baylor University, and Auburn University have all declined a bowl bid. What does this say in regards to how the college football playoffs may be interrupting the other bowl game, like the whole landscape of bowl play or bowl season. And you as a Georgia Tech Yellow Jacket, are you all excited about going to the Pop Tart Bowl? No
Oh, no
joke.
doubt about it.
I got the email. They said they going to the Pop Tart Bowl and they playing BYU.
Yes, no doubt about it. I am excited, and the reason why is because it's extra practice for uh, Philo, the backup quarterback. The youngsters is extra practice, and you have an opportunity to get 10 wins. That's huge. If Tech had been 8-3, I wouldn't be so excited to go 9-3. But to finish the season, probably ranking the top 15 and having 10 wins, that's an opportunity that I think Georgia Tech is and going to be very proud they took. However, unless you just pull it up on the screen, only one team. I mean, Notre Dame is the only team that doesn't have an excuse. I'm going to excuse Kansas State and Iowa State, although both of those teams got fined $500,000 for rejecting the bowl. Kansas State lost their head coach, team in disarray, and they didn't want to play. Iowa State just last week lost their coach, Coach Campbell, to Penn State. That's why they didn't want to play. Rutgers, Florida State, Auburn, Temple, USF, Kansas, they were all 5-7.
UCF, Central Florida.
Yeah, UCF, Central Florida, uh, they were all sent home. Their players had dispersed already, and they didn't think they were going to get an invitation, being 5-7. So they wouldn't even think.
Wait a minute.
Yes,
Because this
yes.
is again where we go five. And how do you get a bowl invite 5-7? That's not even a winning season.
Yeah, because they didn't have enough people to fill the bowls. Vaughn, people were backing out. The bowls were Notre Dame, Kansas State, and Iowa State. When they started backing out of the bowls, the only available teams that were left to be invited to a bowl weren't bowl eligible. Was under 6 wins. That's why.
That's
Now,
that's as bad as giving out championship rings to runner ups. This
no, well, no. That is not as bad because again, that's filling the sponsorship and that's having to fill teams in these bowl games that those guys paid
But
for.
what
They're
is
not.
your
They're not
reward?
rewarding them.
Yeah, you are. You rewarding because before you had to at least have a winning season or 6 wins, right? Be 6-6
Yes.
to be bowl eligible. Now
Yes.
you saying because they don't have enough teams, they just call in the biggest schools and say, "Hey, are you available? Because we want you at our
No.
bowl."
No. There was a criteria to that as well. Strength of schedule, winning percentage, who you beat for those teams they invited to certain bowls. Vaughn, no doubt about it. And get this. What would you rather be done? They cancel the bowl game and lose millions and millions of dollars? So
They gonna you
the
gonna have to
bowl
fix
games are
you
gonna
gonna
have
have
to
to
find
fix
somebody to fill it up.
yeah, you gonna have to do something rather than offer a bowl game to the team that's 5-7 when the last 20 years
Like what, Vaughn?
if you didn't
Like
get
what?
6 wins you're not bowl eligible. You shouldn't be playing in a bowl.
So what are you gonna do then? What would you suggest they do then?
They're gonna have to give fiercer penalties to the ones that's turning it down, but don't give the losers the opportunity to play in a bowl game.
No, I'm talking about what would you do this year?
Again, this year is already what it is. I don't know. That's for them to figure out. It's not my
No,
job.
what you complaining about these is a loser going to fill a bowl game, but they got to go to the 5-7 to get that bowl game. What's the big deal? Don't everybody know they didn't earn it? Everybody knows in the paper. Me, you talking about now? I know a 5-7 team when they show up when the guys are about to match up, when they show it in the pregame conversation, when they show it while the game is going on. Everybody would know they're 5-7. They're not getting credit for that. We know the situation why they're getting invited.
Not everybody knows because again, before you just talk, I didn't know the team was 5-7 because I would rather not watch them than cut it on. But I mean, again, sponsors trying to make their money. That's the college
Yeah.
football. College football is just making bigger issues for everybody else. Whether we talking about NIL, whether we talking about the college football playoffs, whether we talking about the 5 conference champions, the top 5 conference champions, it's just getting bigger and bigger issues. To now, the issue is they decline in bowl bids because they feel some certain way or maybe their coaches gonna left because they offered them jobs, or half of the players is sitting out. Whatever the case is, it's a lot of programs that's in disarray right now, and that's for the college football committee and everybody else to figure out. Ohio State.
So
See,
you are using that loosely, man. You're using that too loosely. Where do you get off, or what do you think, or where have you been reading? There's a lot of programs in disarray. Name five that's in disarray. Ain't a lot of
obviously
programs in disarray.
the ones that's declining, to play a bowl game. But again, if you gotta
Ooh,
reach out, if you have to reach out to the bottom of the
no.
barrel, if you gotta reach out
No.
to the bottom of the barrel just to try and fill your roster, then you probably shouldn't be having it.
Who's got to do that?
You just said that's what the sponsors got to do so they can have a bowl game.
No, but you said programs. You said the teams are in disarray. What teams are in disarray?
Teams is in disarray because you saying they don't have a head coach no more. The head coach is gonna left.
No, Kansas State has got a head coach. That's why they're getting fired. It's just not the coach that 11 in the midnight hour. They're not prepared. The new coach is not prepared. Iowa State, that coach went to Penn State.
But that's what I'm
and all of a
saying.
sudden,
When I say disarray, meaning the team ain't intact right now.
next team isn't talented.
Whatever changes that may occur because the coaches got hired somewhere else or whatever the case may be, for whatever reason, these teams can't play.
They're not intact to play a bowl game.
Huh?
Yeah, they're fine. Iowa State is fine. The coaching going forward. They got them recruiting. They had in the spring ball. That's not disarray. That's just not playing a bowl game without the head coach that started the season. Same as Kansas State. The other guys that you talked about is the Florida State and UCF. The reason why they're not playing because they don't have enough people on campus. They sent them home for the break.
They
weren't around.
What about Kansas?
They sent them home because they weren't around. They weren't prepared, and they didn't think that they were worthy. So to your point,
they're 5-7.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they didn't think they were going to get the call.
They should.
They didn't think they. So that's why they weren't ready. Okay.
Good.
So they're not in disarray. Nobody's in disarray. And the only team that's not happy right now is BYU.
No, the only team that's not happy is Notre Dame. If BYU not happy, they shouldn't be happy for the performance they just put up last Saturday.
Notre Dame should be up. Notre Dame brought that on themselves. They're independent. They're the one who make their own schedule.
People keep saying them being independent, but you can't pick one game where Notre Dame got beat by 34 points or 28. No game this season.
You played that game. You played that game, and I'm gonna play that game back with you with BYU. Tell me who's Notre Dame beating. Thank you.
I don't know. You know I can pull it up.
I'll help you out. They beat Pitt. They beat Pitt.
Yeah, they beat the draws off Pitt that beat
and they beat
they beat Syracuse.
And they so again,
That's
and
what I'm
they beat
saying.
USC.
Who BYU beat?
Dude, I can call out the schedule to you if you want me to do that. They beat Utah.
All right. Well, who cares?
Well, why you bring up Syracuse? Who cares about them?
I'm just saying they beat Syracuse 70-7.
And Syracuse suck.
Okay.
Syracuse they didn't win 4 games.
He's gonna make me pull it up. Hold on, we're gonna see right now.
Notre Dame beat only Pitt and USC. That's it.
Notre Dame.
So if you're gonna
no, we gonna look up. Who did you just say? You said they beat Utah, which was number 13. Who did BYU beat? BYU got beat.
That's it, Utah.
BYU got beat 34-7
by who?
by Texas Tech. BYU
Okay.
beat Cincinnati. They beat TCU.
Okay.
They beat Iowa State. They beat Utah 24-21 in October. They beat Arizona in overtime. They beat West Virginia. They beat Colorado 24-21. They beat Eastern Carolina. They beat Stanford and they beat Portland State. Let's see what Notre Dame do.
Man, it's not going to sound much better than that.
Let's see what Notre Dame do because I'm sure it's going to sound better than that.
Okay, you see.
Notre Dame beat Syracuse by a ton. Stanford by a lot more. Navy by even more. They beat Boston College. They beat USC. They beat NC State. Didn't NC State beat Georgia Tech?
Yep.
Okay. They beat Boise State. They beat the SEC, Arkansas. They beat Purdue. They
Oh,
lost.
God.
Look, they lost to Texas A&M by 1 point, which Texas A&M is in, if I'm not mistaken. Texas A&M.
No. Why you didn't say anything about losing when you was talking to BYU? You just talked about who they beat.
No. But okay, they lost to Texas A&M by 1 point, and they lost to Miami by 3 points.
Okay. Now again, I would ask you, who did
let's
they
go
beat?
back to BYU real quick, just quickly.
I would go back to ask you, who did Notre Dame beat?
USC.
And Pitt.
I wouldn't even say Pitt as
Because they beat one ranked team.
But
They beat one
Arkansas.
both
They in the
both
SEC.
programs beat one ranked team.
USC was ranked, of course.
Yeah, and Utah was ranked.
And Pitt was ranked. Pitt was 22. So they got 2 ranked teams.
Okay.
Okay.
And BYU has one.
And BYU beat who?
Utah.
Nobody. BYU ain't beat nobody. BYU lost first game they lost, which was again.
They only lost 2 games
That's why I
to
said
Texas Tech.
The first game
They lost 2 games to Texas Tech.
And guess what? They
got blown out.
They didn't score over 7 points neither game. 29-7 the first time, and 34-7 the second time.
Okay, I don't
Notre
understand what you're
Dame
saying.
lost by 1 point to Texas A&M and 3
Not
points.
the same teams, though. They didn't play the same teams. I can see if you were saying they played the same teams.
And this is what I'm saying. This was the first 2 weeks of the season. But if we look again, right, and it is a coincidence because Texas A&M got to play Miami. Those 2 teams, number 7 and number 10, they beat Notre Dame by a combined 4 points. BYU just got beat last Saturday, fresh on our minds by 28. They don't have a say-so.
By the number 4 team in the nation.
By the number 4 team in the nation. I don't mind saying that.
Yeah.
But this has been a long, passionate episode.
All right.
We
got to call it a night. We'll call it a night. No doubt about it. We'll call it a night. We'll agree to disagree.
I didn't know you was
Man, all right, man. I've learned some things, man. You don't come off your statement, even though some things that, you don't change. Sometimes you got to change. Sometimes you got to say, hey, I thought it was this, and it didn't turn out to be that. That's okay.
No. Like I said, this was, I know a lot of our fans is going to feel like they've seen a lot of passion, but this is what happens when college football is talked about. This is what happens when we talk about fair and unfair collusion or malpractice, whatever you want to call it. This has been a great episode of In Between the Lines. Y'all comment if Notre Dame should have been in, or if you feel like BYU should be in. Comment below. Share your ideas and share your topics. Is Shedeur balling or what? Or do I not know what I'm talking about? Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. Y'all let me know. That's Joe Ham. I'm Savon Williams. This is In Between the Lines. You ain't tell me my hat was right. It's Buckeye season, though. We on the comeback. It's In Between the Lines. We out.